This is probably the scariest review I have to do this year, because if I love this movie, oh, you're a Marvel lover, Disney's paying you. But if I hate this movie, then I hate women. So I'm basically screwed, guys. It's just my opinion.
Here's Johnny.
My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates.
Expecto Patronum!
The Marvel stars Brie Larson, Teyonah Parris, and Iman Vellani, and is about Carol Danvers got her powers entangled with those Kamala Khan and Monica Rambeau, forcing them to work together to save the universe. From director Nia DaCosta brought you the recent Candyman movie, which I was not a big fan of, but her direction was a bright spot. So, of course, she gets a Marvel job, and it made me excited for the movie because the first Captain Marvel movie, the biggest issue for me was the directors. I just didn't think handled the movie really well. In this movie going in, I was excited for her. I was excited to see Miss Marvel join the movie universe, Monica Rambeau. I was excited to see where this movie could go with these characters. And so, obviously, there's going to be a lot of hate to this movie because people just hate Brie Larson, which she's a fantastic actress. So I just sat down. I said, let's just enjoy this Marvel movie, the shortest Marvel movie, which everyone's already got an issue with. And walking out, I can say this. I think this movie's not great. I don't even think it's even barely good, but it's not a bad movie. Beginning with the positives is our trio in this movie. Brie Larson is actually just awesome in this movie. I think she actually works really good with the team because a lot of people had issue with her in Captain Marvel. But in this movie, I think with her bantering with these two other women really works. Like, she really does a good job with others around her. And honestly, her actual character trait of Captain Marvel and her past really affect her in this movie, which I liked seeing. Teyonah Parris as Monica Rambeau, I actually really liked. I thought she was almost a scene stealer if it wasn't for Iman Vellani. Iman Vellani, you can tell she's a Marvel fan, and you can tell she's having a blast in this movie. I actually enjoyed Miss Marvel's show because of Iman. And in this movie, her and her family are in this movie. It definitely almost feels like a season 2 of Miss Marvel. She is a bright spot, and her, Monica, and Captain Marvel working together save this movie. Their relationship, their chemistry, their banter, their fighting scenes, it all works together. And I want to give a big credit to Nia DaCosta for doing that with her direction, working with the actors, and building this relationship. She did a really good job with that stuff. She also did a really good job with the big spectacle moments, the big chaos moments in the first 20 minutes of this movie. It all worked really well for its story and what it was going towards. Then once the story actually kicks in, that's where we get a little into our negatives. But before that, let's finish the positives. The CGI. I thought the CGI for 90% of it looked really good. There's some green screen issue, there's stuff like that, but in the end, I mean, the CGI looks really good. The production design, there's a really good costume design, entire scene in this movie that's really well handled. The pace of the movie felt fast. It really felt like the fastest Marvel movie ever. It felt like the shortest one. It could have been longer. I honestly think some more of like Monica and Captain Marvel's relationship between them and their past, those scenes are really, really brief and they're good. I wish we could explore more of that. But in the end, I mean, overall, this movie I think is better than Captain Marvel. I think it's better than Quantumania. I enjoyed watching this movie, but it's still not good. Now going into the negatives, I want to say Zaw Ashton, sorry if I said her name wrong. I know she's engaged to Tom Hiddleston in real life. She plays our main villain in this movie. Marvel, man. I mean, you guys have a list full of villains that could be really cool or interesting, and this is what you gave us. This is one of the worst Marvel villains I've seen in a recent memory. It's not her performance. I think she's doing the best she could. Her eye contacts, her teeth, her movements with her body. She's doing a good job performing what she is being delivered, but this script gives her nothing to do. It does really nothing to help her. And when this movie's over, her villain arc and the story of why she's a villain, it felt such like a side note, because what her implication is for this movie specifically is so minor to what the Marvel Universe is trying to do, it felt like a side piece, which is so just like, for a villain in a movie, that is just a joke. It felt like a joke of a villain. And then going into more of our hero side, listen, Secret Invasion really was not good in my opinion, but Samuel Jackson was fantastic in that show. He's awful in this movie. He's absolutely awful. This is a paycheck movie. Either his dialogue, his scenes, I don't know, but it was awful. I don't think I've ever said Samuel Jackson's been awful in a movie. This is that movie, truly. And he is dealing with more of the family side, with Miss Marvel's family joining along in this adventure. He's with them. And this movie gives him nothing to do. He could have been deleted from this movie, and we didn't even need Nick Fury in this movie. I'm being honest. And then that goes more into our plot. So the plot of this movie deals with these three heroes changing their powers, which was a cool idea, and it worked. Whenever it was actually in peril, it worked. Then it became more of like, let's use it for our advantage, and it felt so not important anymore. And then when you're dealing with this villain and their story arc, which really does not work for this movie, it all just falls apart to where the script alone is like, what is this movie? It's really saying, bringing in Miss Marvel, bringing in Monica Rambeau into the movie universe. Let's have them do stuff, make it entertaining, make it fun. Let's have these big joke moments, and there's one big joke scene that involves the cat that I liked. There's another big joke scene involving singing, and I cringed hard. And I was like, I see what you're trying, but it feels so like, really? Like, I don't know. I didn't find it funny at all. I found it really cringe. But like I said, the main villain and the story of this villain, it all felt just like a side piece. Because once this movie's over, you got an ending that's going to set up a future movie. You have a mid-credit scene that's going to set up the future of Marvel. That stuff felt important. Nothing else in this movie felt important. This movie felt like a piece in a puzzle for the Marvel Universe. Is it a fun piece? Is it a watchable movie? Yes. The cinematography, DaCosta's directing, you can tell her like Candyman-isms of her direction are in this movie. The movie looks good, the colors, the cinematography, the darker shadows, like this movie's really well made. It is a fun watch. I can 100% watch this movie again. I'd rather watch it than the first Captain Marvel or Quantumania. Maybe even Love and Thunder. Like, that's how much I liked enjoying my time because of these three women. 100%. Without them, this movie would have been bad in my opinion. But I think those three really hold this movie together. I think the future of the Marvel Universe is exciting because the mid-credit scene, my crowd was like freaking out. I was like, finally. But I can't really spoil the movie, obviously. But either way, I thought the movie was all right at best. I'm going to give the Marvels a C. But I 100% could see people really enjoying this movie. I mean, it is a fun movie. It's fun. It's seriously, like, I can enjoy watching this movie more than other Marvel movies. But really, it feels like another puzzle piece in the Marvel Universe. Because again, the ending scene and the mid-credit scene are setups for the future that make people in my audience say, woo, or ha. And so I was like, that's cool and all. And there's going to be a bunch of theories and everything. But the movie itself, like, it just feels like a puzzle piece. Like, I don't know. It doesn't feel like this movie mattered in the future. Like, once we get to the next Avengers movie and we have our complete saga again, this movie's going to have, like, minute little story beats that control future movies and maybe shows. But this entire story of the Marvels movie doesn't feel like it matters, which is kind of sad. Anyways, guys, enjoy this movie review. Loki season finale tonight, and then tomorrow expect a review because I'm enjoying that. And you guys enjoy this movie review. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, everybody.